Welcome back to Runabout Revival. In this episode, we're looking into the right hand of the driving experience with a full shifter upgrade. Then we take a step back to move forward by buttoning up some loose ends. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like notification bell. This is Runabout Revival.
Since I wasn't exactly sure, I think this might be the 91 shifter that's in it with a TRD shift knob. Boot got torn pretty good. So I think I'm going to replace all that stuff with a new upgraded shifter, and MR2 Heaven makes this great shifter that basically does all 5 options of the various short shifters that are available. In fact, I got their whole kit here. Nylon cup, drop plate, solid bushings that go under the shifter plate, the shifter itself with various different things here, and a weighted carbon shift knob. I also ordered some parts from Prime MR2. I'm waiting on a shift boot and an e-brake boot as well from them. I'm just going to replace both of them. I'll wait to put the dash back in to replace this stuff so I don't tear it again. In fact, I'll probably take the shifter out to make the dash going back in easier, and then we'll come back and after the dash is in, I'll put the new shifter in. Okay, the dash is back in. Didn't break anything more, but I did scratch that A-pillar towards the bottom, which is crappy, but it's hard getting this thing back in as just me by myself in the garage, so I'll take it. All right, so I just put together the new shifter, basically putting the nylon cup into the old shifter bucket. I don't know what to call that part. I took off this linkage as well that attaches on the bottom here. I'm going to put the drop plate in there above it. These are the hard bushings. And then I was laughing at this. This is the instructions on how to get that cup in there. Don't mind this dead blow hammer right here. Okay. So I had a little fun with the shifter here. I actually got it installed except for this cable connector. Goes into the shifter. I could not get that screw in there, and the reason why is it looks like a QC issue. There's a line, looks like a casting line going down the middle of that part, and it was just didn't get deburred, I guess. So I had to do that with the Dremel here. Only had that long extension piece, just run up to 20,000 RPM, and luckily I had one tiny little diamond abrasive tip that was small enough to fit in that hole. It's the only one I have. Luckily it was the right one. So I got that put in. I put the TRD ball back on there for now, just so I don't stab myself in those threads when I'm working on the dash. I'm going to wait to put the nice stuff, the carbon ball and the new leather shift boot and e-brake boot on until all the other stuff's done, so I don't gash that one like I did the last ones. Okay, I got the shifter in with the hard red bushings. It's rock solid. I haven't yet connected the shifter cables on the engine side. I actually need to push out the old bearings to put in the new spherical bushings, so I'm going to get under the car and probably do that next. Maybe you guys are unfortunate like me and broke off one of the combination switches when you were pulling the dashboard out. So I'm going to show you how to replace that. I've already obviously taken off the steering wheel. This car actually doesn't have an airbag on it because it has a Sparco quick release steering wheel. So I've already moved obviously the yellow spring ring that you might see and the NRG quick hub, which I marked with a paint marker on the shaft as well as on the hub itself to know where to remount that. Next I'm removing 4 Phillips head screws, these 4 corners. And then under here I've popped down the wiring harness. Excuse me, move that out of the way. Wiring harness from the mounts under here. And I'm going to disconnect. There's 2 sides here. I've actually already disconnected them and just loosely back in there. This is all the wiring. These 4 bolts come off. That whole combination switch with the headlight, turn signals, and windshield wipers, that all will come off as one unit. If you try to buy an MR2 one for the Gen 2 9192s, I've seen them up to $1,000. But you can actually get the early Celica. Haven't tested that. Okay, the wiring is disconnected. The 4 Phillips head screws are out. Just gonna pull that right off there. Broken switch. I got some parts. So I've been waiting for this. This just showed up today. Let's start with, let me film this here. Okay, got it open. Very well packed with the cardboard folded over. I believe this is the combination switch. It feels very sturdy. And this should be the steering shaft with the ignition still attached. Next, I'm going to unbox these things, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about that. Not even done unpacking it, just had to note how well this is packed. I've already unpacked the combination switch. It's in good shape. He did let me know that there's some wiring here that I need to take a look at. Otherwise, it looks good. The model number is slightly different, but it does fit, and it looks identical to the other one. I haven't pulled my old one out yet to put them side by side and look at them, but I'll do that here shortly after I get this other thing unboxed. But should have all the parts I need to make it work either way, and what's really important is it's not broken, so that's awesome. I'll get this the rest of the way unpacked, and then I'll show you what we got. All right, we got that finally unpackaged. Has the key. It's still attached. I have no idea why, but when I got my car back, that had been disconnected, and I have no idea why, because, and it looks like this too. Turn this around here. These bolts don't really come out. So if this back side of this clamp, there's a bolt on each side, if this comes off, it's pretty much just broken. And that's what it looked like for mine. I didn't have that other side of the bracket, but anyways, I asked him, and he said, hey, I got this one. So it has it connected still, and it was the right price and really quick shipping. I mean, he's on the other side of the country, got out to me in a couple days and packed up super well. And I'll put his information below. He did me a solid, so thank you so much. And awesome stuff, man. I'll be reaching out if I need anything else. Thanks so much. Well, we got that thing out of there. Mine's the one on the left. Pretty much similar, very, very similar condition in terms of the just general surface rust. Big difference is this one has an attached lock cylinder, where mine was broken off because they removed it, and that's not something you can really easily remove because it actually breaks the bolts. The only way to put it back together is to first have the other half that's missing, the cup that goes on this side, and then two, to basically fabricate two bolts to replace the broken ones. And I don't have that part, and this wasn't that expensive actually, so went ahead and just got the whole unit. Just checked the lock mechanism was a little bit dirty, sprayed a little WD on there and loosened it right up. Now it's working just as good as the other one. Otherwise, looks very similar. I'm about to swap these out, put the new one in. That way I can kind of finish up, put the combination switch. Just got done gluing the boot to the shifter, so I'll go through that as well. We'll get it all buttoned up inside so you can see what it looks like. More to come. All right, to get this back in there, let's see here. I just loosened that nut right there. Actually pull it all the way out so it's just on the left side. Slide the steering shaft back into that to approximately where it was before, which looks about right there. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten that down, and then I'll raise the steering shaft up. Raise the steering shaft up here and attach these 4 14mm nuts to the studs up there. Be right back. Okay, it's roughly back up in place. I need to tighten down the 4 14mm nuts, and then I'm going to try to change out this lock cylinder for my old existing one that matches the doors. I believe you just turn it to a certain level, and then there's a pin you press on top. Since I have this one that has the lock cylinder removed, I can just show you with this thing. First off, you're going to notice you have to have the key. This surround part that lights up is removed on the bottom with one Phillips screw. This is already loose. Let me take the key out first. Hold on. There we go. Alright, so now I got the key out. Just remove this here. That's the bottom. So on the top, you'll see there's a little hole right here. If you look down that hole, there's a pin. So that pin right there, you can actually reach with a small 90-degree pick like this. I saw other people saying that you had to remove the gauges. I did not. I had plenty of room with this. I did try initially with a larger full-size 90-degree pick, and that was a little bit too tall to fit there, but with the gauges installed in this smaller pick, I was able to get in there just fine. Going to make sure to stick the key in. Trying to film this. Turn it to ACC down there. And that's going to allow this pin to go down. And then you're just going to push this pin down. I'm not going to do it with holding the camera, but I'll do it here in a second to show you. Push this down, and then you're going to pull the cylinder out, and then you just swap that with the other one like I did already. So give me 1 second here, and I'll show you what that looks like. Try to like straddle the camera here. It's not working. So, pin down. There we go. I don't know if you can could see that, but push the pin down just enough to pop this straight out. All the way like that. And over. Switch it out with the other one. Same deal, just in reverse. And then the last part here. And there's your new lock cylinder. Put this guy right back on there, like this. On the bottom. There's, oops, a little twisted there. There we go. Single screw back in there. Obviously this is the part I'm not reusing, but I'll just put it back together so it's all together. And then this is the one he sent me originally that came with the steering shaft. Stick it back in there and turn it so it doesn't fall out. And this can go back in the pile with all the other parts we're not going to use. I just got the new combination switch mounted. Looks good to me. This is the thing that had some wiring issues. There's the green cable's disconnected, and the brown one there is looks like it's been repaired. I'm pretty sure that's the cruise control, and I'm not using that, so I might just snip that off, but I'm going to double check it. Just want to make sure I'm not missing something, but I'm pretty sure that's cruise control. I did connect the wires back there. I do have to tuck them back up. The yellow wires for the airbag, we don't have that, so I'm going to keep it tucked in there. Someone ever wants to add one back, but it's not being used. One of the things holding up this video for now the second week is I'm waiting for a couple pieces, one of which is just some interior plastic spray paint to get this back black, and then I got a red line center console cover. I started cleaning this thing and I think it actually made it worse, so I just stopped, and it's pretty faded. And I remember when I had this originally, it was in really great shape. I think somewhere along the line it was left in somewhere where I got a lot of sun, and it is just baked. I'm going to cover it and see if that works. That is coming from, I believe, outside of the country, and it's going to take a couple days to get here. So it might be a whole nother week before I'm able to get that and put that on there. It's already been a week since I've ordered it. Other than that, the interior is ready to go back in. I do have a couple surprises along the way, I think. Maybe you've seen it, maybe you haven't, but we'll see.